Jolan, true Centurions, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command. Orion Pirates Plus Mod. I am Fleet Admiral Tyrk of the battleship RIS Caleb as we continue our campaign against the United Federation of Planets. And I have just recently noticed that this little neck here is getting quite thin in areas. So let's continue the fight and start securing important planets before the Federation manages to cut our little mini empire that we are creating off. And we shall throw ourselves into an asteroid base assault. One, because they're easy. Two, because they're more interesting than a shipyard assault. And three, well, there was no third reason. It was just those first two. So battle alert, hit that increase in speed. We are heading towards the left side of the map. Whether or not that has any relation to do with west, I have no idea. But it doesn't really matter. We do know it on here as left. Set our plasma torpedoes just in case to enveloping. I don't anticipate it. Asteroid bases are generally not super well defended. Tends to be like cruisers and frigates. But hey, you never know. They could suddenly bust out 3 dreadnoughts and suddenly we're in trouble. Increase the speed of time so we can actually see what we're about to get into a fight with. And there it is. It is a heavy cruiser. Not just any heavy cruiser. She is a battle cruiser. And am I seeing an Excelsior type? Yes, we are. She is indeed a BCE Excelsior. I forget what her plaque reads. I used to know it at one point. So let's increase our speed. Get all set up to go, well, basically seal clubbing Sulu's main ride. How much energy are we currently spending? 30 points of energy? We can sap some of that into our forward shields. So prepare to fire the pseudoplasma torpedoes to basically make them regret how they're living. Pseudoplasma torpedo is away. Slow down to a normal speed of time because now reactions are on. So wait until that he suddenly crashes stops, and then we'll turn right into him and, well, basically wipe him out. Yep, there he goes. He has crash stopped. So wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Basically, we need to fly a relatively, well, good course in order to line up with him at the perfect moment to come in with all of the plasma. We are a big, heavy ship. We do not turn well. So all the plasma torpedoes are selected and ready to rock. He's at a speed of 2. He needs to be up to a range speed of 4 before he's outside of the influence of the Wild Weasel. 3.5 is good enough, but I just want to make sure. Lights over his eyes, and there's everything we've got going for him. He did lash back with all his phasers, but it's not going to work out so great for him. Hit him with the phaser fire on the sides, and then give him a last plasma torpedo. I think he's done for here. Just a hunch. Nope, that hunch was wrong. Even though he took the full 60 damage from that plasma torpedo, he is still up and flying. He has no more shuttle bay, no more tractor beam, and his engine power has just dropped him down to 0. So, let's park up. That's basically the whole plan at this point. We're going to park right on top of him and kill him. All up and select. There we go, hitting him out with a couple more phaser X's as they just lay on into him. He is firing back with all the phasers that he has at his disposal, and then we cut him to pieces with our own phasers. Increase the speed of time. We will now head on. Hey map, we need to be heading towards the left side of you. And there we go. So currently we are looking at 20 points of energy in the forward shield. We don't need that right now. We need speed. Speed and maneuverability to hunt down that asteroid base over there, far off in the distance. So we will set ourselves up on a collision course, not quite, but you get the idea. And we'll fire a single pseudo-torpedo to absorb his 4 phaser 3s that he has in defense, and then we will then open fire with all of the plasma we have. It's not going to be enough to kill him. It never is, sadly, but we should be able to siege him out pretty decently. We'll fire the heavy plasma torpedoes and turn away and try and keep to a range of about 15. Or at least that's the plan. It might not work as well as we hope. Prepare to fire pseudo-torpedoes. It's not quite ready. This one is. Pseudo-torpedo away. Heavy plasma torpedoes selected and engage and turn. Turn, 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 turn. Out, out, that hurt. Stern firing plasma torpedo. There we go. Wait for a little bit more damage. We're just going to stay at range. This is perfectly happy to be out here. Slow down a little bit. And let's set our shields up to reinforce the starboard side, because that's what we're going to be showing him for a little while, as he can plink away as much as he pleases. He probably is actually making some progress through the shields, although we are at a defense shift of 1, so that actually works out quite nicely for us. Prepare to turn back in for all the heavy plasma torpedoes that we have. One more. There we go. Do you survive? Nope, he would not survive that barrage. Stationary installations are just not great at surviving against battleships. Didn't work out well for him at all. Although he had an Excelsior class defending him, so there was that. For whatever that got him. Stern firing photon torpedoes. Not the most genius of uses. 168 prestige for that little battle. Empire defense is down to 15. We're almost there. Just a little bit more damage and we can have it. We can steal it, and there is a patrol to go on for it. Which is exactly what we're looking for. Patrols tend to be cheap and easy, except when they're not. Sometimes patrols can be expensive as all heck. We are currently escorted today by RIS Invenio, and currently squaring off against, are we at the right speed? We are. A heavy cruiser and a freighter. So are you a Q ship or just a freighter? You're an EL, so I'm assuming just a random freighter. You are an NSR, which makes you a survey cruiser, right? Yeah, a new survey cruiser, I do believe. Enveloping plasma torpedoes, we're going to set up the whole show. I mean, you're not a battleship, but we may as well make it look good for you. And of course, a war destroyer, Alphabet Soup. It is a capital XE, so a capital X escort. Not quite sure what that's going to give him in terms of firepower and effectiveness, but we will definitely find out. Reinforce that forward shield and buff the full power that it may take. And increase the speed of time. Because now it's bookkeeping. We are, of course, going to swing wide away from that heavy war destroyer. We don't want to focus on him right now. We do want to hit this NSR, which I do believe is a new survey cruiser. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think that I am. We will find out very shortly, though. Incoming photon torpedoes, slow down the speed of time so that we can think for just a moment. Fire the pseudo torpedo. That'll bait him out and do exactly what we want. He's got 2 photon torpedoes, 4 phasers, 2 missile launchers, and I assume these are also yeah, he's definitely a new survey cruiser. Yeah, 6 phaser X's, 2 photon torpedoes, 2 missile launchers, 2 anti-missile defense systems. He's definitely the successor to the survey cruiser, which in the early era, survey cruisers are really good. Like, I very much approve of survey cruisers in the early era. However, by the time you get out to around this era, they're just not quite useful enough to take. So we'll prepare to annihilate him with everything that we've got. His little fighters did the best that they could, but it won't be enough. The USS Delta. Oh, Sidewinder shot. There we go. The new survey cruiser is destroyed. I don't have enough phasers to really threaten anything else, so pseudo torpedoes are will just to freak him out. And as we get nice and top on close on him, all the phasers to smash into him. I think the stern firing phasers should be able to wipe him out. Not quite, and we did take a couple of hits from those fighters, although I think we'll wipe out the fighters without too much difficulty. We do have a stern firing plasma torpedo, which I will dump on the heavy war destroyer just as soon as we have the opportunity. Wait for him to get up to enough speed that we can take him off. And was that a scatter pack? No, that's just his normal missile launcher. Stern firing plasma torpedo. We'll keep the phasers going in on this freighter for whatever that's worth. We'll saw off about 10 points of energy from all sides of his shields, which is a decent use. Make him a little bit weaker. There we go. His freighter buddy's dead. Tractor defenses are now active. Didn't need them. Shut them back off so that we can conserve the power. I don't have any forward firing weapons right now, so you're just going to have to make do with my stern firing ones. So, there we go. Laying into him, cutting through those shields, dealing 15 damage. It's not a huge amount, but it's not terrible. Waiting for our heavy weapons to charge. He is attempting the most annoying strategy in the universe. Of course, we are a large battleship, so that's not working out for him quite as well as it used to. Especially in frigate battles. Oh god, 10 points of damage is just huge in that, especially when it's continuous like that. Not something you want to live through. We have basically spent most of the time wiping out most of his shields. Fortunately, we have 4 phasers ready to go, but they're on the wrong hardpoint. As we come around, will we be able to get an F-type phaser involved here? Is shuttle base still up? Do I have any pseudo torpedoes? I didn't think so. So a long-range shot from a plasma torpedo, unless that is a... No, that's got to be the stern-firing pseudo. Yeah, that was his stern-firing pseudo. Is that going to create a panic reaction? It does not. So you did not react to that at all. How about to this? It's 2 F-type plasma torpedoes. Doesn't that freak you out? Aren't you afraid and scared and stuff? No, he took it right to the face. How about 2 S-type plasma torpedoes? He shocked off his shuttle bay. He wasn't able to defend himself. And that will clean up that patrol. They didn't even really manage to bust up most of my shields. But then again, they really weren't all that powerful. A heavy war destroyer is nice, but it's not anything special. And a new survey cruiser, well, cool ships for the early era, don't get me wrong. By the time you make it to the late era, it's just outweighed by everything else. The heavy cruiser line really just overcomes it. Which isn't to say that the heavy cruiser during the early era isn't superior to the Galactic Survey Cruiser, but the Galactic Survey Cruiser has better power distribution because it's got missiles. So, Constitution class suffers from having too many photon torpedoes, which is a major problem for a lot of Federation designs. Plasma torpedoes, of course, to enveloping ECM, ECCM systems to set as normal and increase the energy. Yeah, early Federation designs just constantly suffered under the problem of we don't understand how to make a balanced ship. Let's just throw a whole bunch of photon torpedoes on it and call it a day. It works about as well as you might expect. Or maybe you think in the same way the Federation and you think that's a great idea. Well, spoiler alert, it was not. It led to the Saladin-class destroyer, which was a joke. Oh, poor Saladin. You were never able to accomplish anything. Fire this pseudo-torpedo. I know that's really late, but you'll deal with it. And crash stop. And turn back in. Prepare all the plasma torpedoes for basically wiping him out. He has started to increase speed. Will we come around with the bow just in time? The Q-ship apparently missed his shot. And here we go. This is good night to the NECXM. So a new drone cruiser with MERV upgrade. Didn't even need to get the phasers involved in that one. Hi, what you gonna do? How about this? Fire pseudo torpedo. I anticipate that you will dump a Wild Weasel, because they generally do. You are an FQLX, which is not a horrifically bad armed Q-ship. Not gonna lie. There we go. Yes, I know, the phasers probably would have been better spent hitting the actual Fokker himself. But I do want to get him done for quite soon. Lining up, protection has gone away, chunk down the two shields because we have to. When you're corner onto something, it tends to, the difference between hitting the two shields tends to be quite small. Stern firing plasma torpedo has fired. Of course, it is a little bit delayed when it does shoot. And we've managed to cause a decent amount of damage there. So he is limping along. Let's increase the speed of time, because why not? At this point, he's got nothing that I would really classify as dangerous anymore. I mean, sure, if he can get the bow on, he has photon torpedoes, but is he going to get the bow on? Yeah, it looks like he might. Stern firing phasers. That'll finish you off. There we go. Okay, target Stardock. What kind of Stardock are we dealing with? Don't know. Let's find out the quick and easy way. So maximum speed of time. Plasma torpedoes, of course, set to envelop. Oh, it's a Hydron Stardock. This is my favorite kind of Stardock, because the Hydron Stardock is equipped with Gatling phasers instead of phaser 3s. Now, you may say, oh my god, that's incredibly powerful. 4 Gatling phasers? That's nuts. And it is. 16 phaser 3s is crazy. But that range is limited to 3. So, not exactly the most deadly of targets to have to try and bust open. So we're going to do the standard trick that we normally do. It's one shot and we're through. Fortunately, we can't increase the speed of time any more than we already have. How much energy in that forward shield? Yeah, we're going to sap from it. May as well. We will spend our energy as best as we can. That pseudo torpedo is not ready, but this one is. Fire the pseudo torpedo. Slow down. Slow down speed of time just so I can target this bloody thing. Hi, phasers. Kill. There we go. Only took all of the phasers. Continue to slow down. Oh crap. Oh crap. Oh crap. Oh crap. Prepare to receive Gatling phasers. No? You didn't? Well, that was odd. I was expecting Gatling phasers, but apparently not. Speed of time back up. Yeah, I was expecting him to fire just a whole ton of... Oh, he must have fired them at the pseudo-torpedo, didn't he? Had to have. I must have just missed it. Every so often I seem to blank out on things and completely miss when something happens. It's an odd thing to happen. So now we need to wallow around just a little bit, wait for our 4 plasma torpedoes to get ready to kill again, and waiting the 3 turns required. We will use this pseudo-torpedo to bait out the shot. And you may fire when ready. All phasers select. And there he is. There we go. Shot him down. Wait for the heavy plasma torpedo. Good night. There we go. On to the last one. And again, time speed at maximum. We must cover a distance of no less than 46,000 kilometers? 460,000 kilometers? Because it's times 10,000. So, yeah. A long distance. Doesn't matter. So we will just have to wait. Plasma torpedoes are almost ready to go, although I do believe that these plasma torpedoes, yeah, those pseudos are not ready. So we're just going to give him the whole show, all of the pseudo torpedoes. I figure he'll panic to at least one of them. It doesn't really matter anyway. He's done for. Even if we didn't have plasma torpedoes on this, I'm pretty sure our phaser armament could bust him open. I might be wrong on that, but I don't think that I am. All of the pseudos engage. And there's his shuttle. All the phasers engage. Just barely shot him down. Wait for the attack ship to go away. And wow, we were just able to absorb all of that phaser 3 fire. I was expecting more damage from it, but it just did not happen. So wading through the enemy fire and successfully accomplishing the mission with no trouble at all. See how much prestige that's worth. Well, 450. As usual, and the tile taken, which is excellent work by us, which now allows us to continue to push out into Federation territory. And sure, why not? Let's go on a data recovery mission. These tend to be interesting and safe. And they're also more interesting than the shipyard assaults. And also, if the worst comes to worst, we can just sneak through it. All hands to battle stations, set plasma torpedoes to enveloping mode. We are actually going to go through the battlefield prep up first because we see a battleship. And we just want to make sure that everything is ready to go. Alrighty, so we are currently at speed and ready to go. 1.8 points of power into all of the systems so we can maintain a speed of 4. We're escorted today by the B-11 battleship IKV Dune Slayer? Dual Slayer? Dual Slayer. Couldn't quite read it on the back of the nebula back there. And it's squaring off against 2 Federation battleship carriers. No, you're an FBVX. You are a liar, sir. Very close, of course, to BBVX, which is a battleship carrier. We're going to focus on the battleship carrier because it's much more dangerous and needs to die, whereas the little tiny frigate, which is a battle frigate, we can basically ignore. So increase the speed of time. We will rush right for this one. Prepare to hit him with, we'll be efficient, 1 pseudo-plasma torpedo. Because they will freak out to the R every single time. Sometimes they'll freak out to the S. They almost never freak out to the F anymore. So stand by to engage. Slow down the ship. Yes, we managed to absorb all of that. There go his fighters. Slow down the speed of time. I forgot he's going to have his own fighters. And I assume that's his crash stop. We did turn a little bit in the wrong direction to do this. Should have turned it that way. That way we would have come in from a different angle. A better angle. And I think we must do it. Enter into cloak. And slow down. We're just going to wait for the fighters to fly over top of us. We'll decloak and we'll unload everything we've got into the front of a BBVX. And hopefully that'll be enough. So wait for the fighters to engage. So first group of fighters, missed. Second group of fighters, missed. And that was also the third. That means the fourth group of fighters, decloak. Hi. Also, just for giggles, and because it's free. As all of these heavy phasers and weapons just unload on everything. Engage with phasers. I want kills. I want proper good kills here. Also, engage with phasers. And we have once again cloaked, which was a bit of a mistake. I didn't mean to hit that button. I meant to hit track to defense. But this will work out fine. We will just drift on through. No challenge. No trouble. Just slip on through here. Wait until we get into his stern arc. He does not have stern-firing plasma. He doesn't have stern-firing plasmas, that's for sure. But he doesn't have stern-firing photon torpedoes because he is a carrier. We will be able to also engage with all of the things. Tractor defense is now active. Didn't need it. Okay. Heavy plasma. Engage with the plasma torpedoes. And keep the phaser bombardment going. We have lost our forward shield, which kind of sucks. Because we're taking hits that we don't want to take. Seriously, stop that. If you don't stop that, I will board you. I will board you and I will steal your ship. Do you really want that? I think he does. Okay, well if that's what you really, really want, I will give that to you. Crew, capture. 18, we're going to have to whittle down your numbers a bit, but don't worry, I will be there. We will show up and take your ship just like you asked for us to do. Continue to fire the phasers. There we go, laying on into him, make him hurt. Unfortunately, not much in the terms of photon torpedoes went down with that, so we will cloak so that he can fire and miss with all of his photon torpedoes. So the hope is now... Yeah, that's what I was expecting there. And we'll come out of cloak now, so that we can hit you with all of our weapons, which unfortunately at this moment is nothing. Oh, a couple of phaser 3s. But sadly, all the other weapons are on the other side of the ship. So knocked out his forward shields in their entirety. Thought you had Gatling phasers, don't you? Yeah, he does. I'm expecting you to utilize them at any moment. Keep firing phasers. Just lay on into him. Make him hurt. Still more phasers, if you don't mind. No? No, we're out of phasers at this point? Okay. We do have a couple of plasma torpedoes, which I will fire at point blank at you. If you survive these missiles. Which I'm not sure that you will. Nope. Didn't quite have enough. Is there another enemy target? There is not, so increase the speed of time. And set systems down to green alert, because we are done with the battle. Just full-powered engines. Get us all the way up to maximum power as we head on out of here. Safe and in charge. It is a Federation listening post. I wonder if we should steal it, or if stealing it would break the game. I think we did it once and it didn't do anything. Like, it killed all the people on board, but then it just stayed Federation. I believe that's how that works. It's not like a normal mission where you capture things. So we're just going to soar on in through. Unfortunately, our speed is only capable of doing 30.5. I thought we were capable of doing 31. Maybe it's just a super high acceleration curve at that point. I wonder if Starfleet battles had different maximum speeds for ships. I believe I had read somewhere that X-type ships were capable of actually going faster than a speed of 31 in-game. But not 100% sure on that. And am curious. We are heading off the map, of course, right? Yes, at some point. This way. Nuclear space mine went off and nothing happened. I had been hoping to catch at least one of the fighters in. The nuclear space mine is not as big as I had thought it had been. I thought it was like a huge, gigantic explosion that could shatter the ships in one hit. But it's kind of not. It's a Plasma F torpedo and a little bit more if it hits you. Which I suppose is a pretty decent amount of damage, but I was hoping for like cataclysmic amounts of damage. Then again, they do give it to you free, so I can't complain too much about it. So we have just earned ourselves a grand total of 315 prestige, and the Federation is gathering ships, so we are set up for a surprise reversed. But that will end things for their now sieging the planet of 1810, our primary target, and I do believe likely the only Federation target left. We will lay siege and then probably build out this just a little bit. But that will be for later. Anyway, I've been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time I release one of these videos, press that little bell icon, leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next episode.